Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about one of the most important topics in Java programming, which is exception handling. Before we talk about exceptions, let's understand that Java has three types of errors. Type 1 is called compile time errors. These are errors that occur during compilation, before the program even runs. For example, missing a semicolon, wrong variable names, or syntax mistakes are compile time errors. So if your code has compile time errors, Java cannot convert it to bytecode, and the program never runs. These are actually the easiest errors to fix because the compiler tells us exactly where they are. And type 2 is logical errors. These occur when the program runs correctly but produces wrong output. For example, a program that is supposed to add two numbers but multiplies them instead, there won't be any error message, just wrong results. These are the hardest errors to find. And we have type 1, type 2. Now let's talk about the type 3, which is called runtime errors or exception. These occur during the execution of the program, after it has successfully compiled and started running. For example, dividing by 0, accessing a file that does not exist, accessing an array index that is out of boundaries are examples of runtime errors, and these are called exceptions. And unlike compile time errors, they can be caught and handled. So let's see what happens when an exception occurs and we do not handle it. For example, first let me just print a simple sentence to see if our program runs without any errors or not. Program started. A simple and easiest one. And we can see our program works very well. Now let me create a variable named I with value 0. And now let me create another variable a, which is the result of 10 divided by variable I. Now I want after this variable or arithmetic operation, this line be printed. I say this line never executes because it never executes. Let's see if it is true or not. Yeah, we can say we have an exception which say divided by 0. So this program started, but the moment it had the division by 0, Java threw an exception and the JVM or Java Virtual Machine terminated the program abnormally. The last print line or println never executed, as we see, right? So this is the problem. With an exception handling, one unexpected error crashes the entire program. Now let's see the solution with the try-catch block. Let me first write the general syntax. The general syntax is try, curly braces, and then catch keyword, parentheses, and curly braces. Inside the first block of try, we write the critical statements that might throw an exception, and inside the parentheses we write exception, which is a class, and E, which is an object, and inside the curly braces we write the code to handle the exception. So now let's fix our earlier example. We already have, for example, if I change the value of I to 5, everything works very well, even this statement is printed. So because everything is normal, so this statement is called normal statement. This is an outside, this is a normal statement, right? But what if the value is 0? What if the value of I is 0? We already know that division does not support 0, right? So to handle this situation, we create or we use try catch block. I use this statement. Let me just cut this person first. Try, then a block of curly braces, right? And then we have the catch keyword, parentheses, and we can write the curly braces separately. Inside the first curly braces, we write critical statement that might throw an exception, right? Which statement is going to throw an exception? Is this one. While the I is 0, the value is 0. And this is called a critical statement. And it should be inside try block. So now in the parentheses we say we write the name of the class exception and the E as an object. I think I have made any mistake here. Let me just check my spelling. Exception. Yeah, no, it's fine. So inside the second curly braces, we write the code which we need to handle the exception, right? And the code that we want, for example, I want to just be a message to the user like an exception occur. That's it. Maybe we also want to show the message which was in this console part, and we just can add E at the end. And now let me run the program. So we can see that our message is printed and exception occurred. And then I also received the message to know what the problem or the exception really is. If we don't want this one, we can just simply remove and run the program, and we will only see our own custom message, which is an exception occurred. So look at the difference. Now when the exception occurs, Java catches it in the catch block, prints our custom error message, and then the program continues normally and the last print line executes. For example, if we don't have this part and we have only this one out of the block and I run the program, you can see we have two messages here, the first one and the second one. And when I run the program, the first one is printed, but the second one is not printed because we have an exception here. The time when I use try catch block, I run the program. Even if we have an error here, still the second message is printed. So let's understand what really happened here. The try block in here contains the critical statement, which is int a equal 10 divided by I. When this line throws an arithmetic exception, by the way, it is called an arithmetic exception. Let's see how. Let me just add the E again and run the program. And the Java told us it is an arithmetic exception, right? So join the data jumps to the catch block, to this one. It jumps to the catch blocks, and catch blocks catches the exception. And the variable E is an object that contains about the exception. Here. It is an object and contains information about the exception. And we can also use other method using this method. For example, get message, because it's an object, right? So after try catch block, the program continues executing normally as if nothing happened. And that is exception handling with try catch in Java. If you enjoy watching this video, make sure to like and subscribe the channel so you never miss a video. See you in the next one.